Hey you, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am really excited. I am wearing another cozy big fall sweater, and I am excited to be doing another fall eye look with you with a palette that I have owned for a long time, but I don't think that I have ever actually used, which will be interesting. This is the ABH Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture Palette. And if this is something that you are interested in seeing what my look turns out to be, then please go ahead and keep watching. So I am very excited to be dipping into this beautiful palette, beautiful fall toned palette, like definitely totally vibes with my shirt and like the stripes on it. It's gonna look beautiful. Now I got this from a friend. She bought it at TJMaxx. Lauren like years ago bought it for me, and this was an ABH palette that was not well received. Supposedly it was not the same formula that was, you know, in the Modern Renaissance palette everyone knows and loves, which I actually don't own, but I have used it before from a friend, and I do have that Pro Pigment palette from ABH. I don't know if that's the same formula as this. So I have never actually used this formula, but when I opened it up, because I was thinking about doing another fall eyeshadow tutorial, I was looking at it and I'm like, this just screams fall to me. Like, it's just perfect for fall. So it may not be the greatest quality for the ABH formulation, but we're gonna test it out and find out today and see what I can come up with for our eye look. So I'm gonna go ahead and prep my eyes. I am going to use my Nars Soft Matte Concealer and prep them on my eyelids. I know that like this is a palette you can find at like TJMaxx and stuff now. It's kind of one of those that I guess like they don't sell it very much, so they're just trying to like get rid of a lot of the stock, perhaps. Unsure. So I'm just gonna take my concealer and kind of conceal the dark eyes that I have. I actually have been homesick all week. I went homesick Tuesday from school, from teaching, which I have never done in my 4 years of school. I have never actually like left in the middle of a day because I felt like crap. And that actually happened to me this week. I tested negative for COVID and flu, but I, you know, still had like the achy body and the chills, slight fever, but then it went away, congestion, all that fun stuff. Everybody was so excited about these seasons, and here they are, ready to go. So yeah, so my eyes are all kinds of crazy, and they are very watery as well, especially my already watery eye. So this might be a look that I put on and then I take off right after, just because I don't know what my eye is going to end up doing. So we shall see. I'm just going to take my Nakia Joy Cosmetic Setting Powder and set that down. So I'm going to go in with New Wave right here. It's like this mustardy yellow shade. It looks exactly like my mustardy yellow stripe on my sweater, so can't go wrong with that. I'm just going to take a little bit of that, very powdery, lots of kick up in the pan. Obviously this is not a true review just because like this palette's been out forever and I already know the consensus of a lot of people on these shadows, but we're just gonna like see what I can come up with. So definitely powdery, have to tap off the excess, but I mean in my first, like that's pretty pigmented to me. I'm just blending that there, and I'm going to start building that up into the brow bone area. It's a pretty color, very pretty. And I did go in with the brush that came with it just to kind of see what it was like. Alright, so I've laid that first shade down on both eyes. I do like the color, and it is very easy to build up. So now I'm going to go in with this shade right here called Fudge, this brown, chocolatey brown shade. And I'm just going to go in with this same brush, and I'm just going to start putting that just right below where I placed it in the crease. Just kind of blending that and deepening up that crease. This one's definitely a little bit harder to work with right off the bat, and I've lost a piece of the brush. Hair from the brush has already come loose, so that's not great. And sometimes the palettes that come out with brushes inside the palettes, they're, you know, not always supposed to be going to be the best brush. So I'm actually going to switch to a blinged brush here. I'm just going to dip a little bit of that back in and try to build this up. It is definitely like kind of patchy, and it's like skipping over this little part of my eye. I'm going to go back in with that yellow shade that I first used. And I'm just going to kind of blend this out here on the outside and kind of melt these shades together, just so it's not too harsh. Not too bad. Obviously, we'll clean it up at the end. So I'm just going to put this brown shade on the other eye and then kind of see what I want to do with the look. Okay, so I have the brown on both eyes. I was not very impressed with the quality of that shade. Makes me a little nervous for some of these other dark tones, but we're just going to see what happens. Remember, in the end, it always comes together, like 99.9% of the time it comes together. So we're just going to have some faith. And I think now I'm going to go into, I really like this green shade right here, but I also really like this dark burgundy. I think I'm going to go in with the dark burgundy on the outer corner, and I'm just going to use a smaller brush to place that shade. And I'm just packing that on in the outer third and up here in that crease. Right now I'm just focusing on packing that in, or stamping motions. It kind of ends up losing, it's like, I don't know, it's kind of similar to the brown. Like, you can see a difference, but like only because I'm up close and like I know that I use this All Star is what it's called. I don't know. I'm just gonna go back in with that blinged brush and just kind of add some of that yellow and brown and just kind of smooth some of these edges out here. I'm going to do the same stamping motion on the other eye. Now I'm going to I cleaned up the edges, and now I'm going to go in with this shade called Dawn. It's like a skin tone color. I'm just going to place that on my brow bone area just to soften that transition a little bit. And just to make sure I don't lose the yellow toned, I'm going to go back in and add a little bit more of the yellow. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the deepest shade in the palette. It's called Rowdy. It's like this deep purple. And I'm just going to take it on a teeny tiny little brush and add that to the corner, like outer corner. And just see what that does. I'm just lightly feathering this in. I don't want it to be too much. Now I'm going to decide what shimmer I want to go in with. There we go. There's only actually 2 shimmers in this palette, which I think is interesting. So we have this beautiful electric green, which I am very drawn to. I just don't know if it's too much for this. And then we have, you know, your normal like bronzy gold shade. So I'm going to swatch both. They're soft. They're not the softest shimmers I've ever, you know, like felt. This one's kind of chunky. There we go. It's smoothed out. I mean, it's beautiful. And then here's the electric green. Oof, that is so beautiful. And it actually is kind of like a duo shift almost. In some lights, if you move it, it's like a green, then a silver, and then a gold type color. That's kind of cool. Ooh, I think I am gonna, hopefully it doesn't ruin the look, but I think I am gonna go in with that. Like, obviously you could do a very simple gold right there, but I don't want to be simple. Okay, so I'm gonna take a little bit of this. I'm gonna do it on a small brush that I'm gonna wet with some setting spray. So I'm gonna get my setting spray. I'm going to use just my Morphe Continuous Mist here and just spray this new Jaclyn brush that I got. And we're just going to see how it applies with a brush when wet. It is chunky. It's definitely giving me some fallout. I mean, it's stunning. Like, I really, surprisingly, like, in the camera, it's almost coming off gold, but in person, it's clearly very green. I do not like, I don't know if it's the brush or just the shadow on the brush. It's just too chunky, like, too many large clumps. So I'm just going to take my finger and do the rest. I mean, it's a stunning shimmer. I mean, that's beautiful. I'm going to do that on the other eye, and then we're going to see how we can melt these colors kind of together. Okay, so I have it placed down. Now, like, if I was wearing falsies, it'd kind of help hide the, like, harsh transition, but I'm not wearing those. So I'm going to go in with the gold shade as well, and just kind of, like, place that there in the center. Maybe kind of help melt these two together. It's not terrible. Let me go in with just that small blending brush. I like that. Okay, so I was able to use both shimmers and they kind of helped each other. They're very soft. Now there is no inner corner, like there's a white in here, but there's no like inner corner like shimmer. I mean, it's kind of shimmery, but maybe more of a matte. So I'm just going to put some mascara on. I'm going to go in with my Lash Sensational Luscious mascara. I am going to make sure I clean up these edges. They're pretty clean, but just to make sure it's the angle I want. Like so. And then we'll go in with mascara. Okay, so I'm gonna hop off camera. I'm gonna finish the rest of my face so it like really looks very nice and not like all red splotchy. And then we will come back and I might even smoke out my lower lash line. I have not decided, but so far I really like the way that this is looking on my eyes. Pretty impressed. Alright, I am back with my finished face. I am loving the way that this looks. I was going to do a lower lash line, but this eye is watering way too much. It would just be a waste of time. So it makes me sad, but we are getting into the season of where, you know, your allergies and the colds, the winter, what weather, what can I can't do words. The weather is changing and, you know, that comes with watery eyes and blowy noses and all kinds of stuff. So just not worth it at this point. But other than that, like, I am just so happy with how this turned out. I am very excited that even like just adding that green on the eye, like, I love the way this looks. This is like 2 for 2 for greens for me. I did a look a couple videos ago with the Michaela and Glam Light palette using the greens in there, and I loved the way that that turned out too. And I love how this looks. It's just so beautiful. So I hope that you enjoyed this as much as I did. Like I said, I've been sick all week and this is the first like fun thing that I have done, and I'm still not like 100%, but this was so nice to be able to do, and such a fun day to do this on. And it's cold outside. I get to wear my warm cozy sweater and look pretty while I sit on my couch and watch probably some Gossip Girl, because that's what I'm doing right now. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and you know, never take all of the things that are said about a palette for, you know, take it at your own risk, because sometimes they end up working out for you. And there were some shades that I was like, yeah, quality's not great, but I mean, then there was some like this green, I'm like dead about how amazing this is. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed listening to me ramble, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye!